Welcome to the Pulse. I am Matt Odom, and today is Tuesday, August the 4th, and hope everyone is doing well. Thanks for taking out your time to be with us as we delve into the world of comic book news. And so, I hope everyone's doing okay. I want to make sure that I remind everyone to check us out on the Instagram, the Twitch, and of course here. Make sure that you hit that bell and make sure that it's solid so you'll know when we are live here on the channel. Hope everyone's doing well. Let's get right down to business tonight. And Scott Snyder has decided that he's going to move away from DC's central line in 2021. That's the big news as of late. And so he says he's not leaving DC or superheroes, but he wants to focus on things that don't take oxygen from the main line. Basically just saying, hey man, I need a break. And of course he needs a break after a huge past year or two with some major titles like Dark Knight's Death Metal, the Last Night on Earth. I mean, he's been really putting in work the last year, I'd say. For sure, the last year, and I'm sure we'll eventually see Scott take up the helm of some more good stuff. But everyone needs a break after a while, and so Scott said he's going to take him a break, but he will definitely be back. Let's take a look here at some other news. DC has announced a new Injustice project. Now, today, DC announced that Injustice Gods Among Us comic writer Tom Taylor would be returning to the universe he helped shape in DC's most fan-favorite comic of the last decade. In a new prequel story entitled Injustice Zero, Taylor, with artists Roger Antonio, Shion Tomei, and Ryan Barreto, and Wes Abbott will tell the story of circumstances that led up to the events of Injustice Gods Among Us, the video game and comic book. This series will be released as a digital exclusive, and the first 3 installments are available today on Comixology, Amazon, and other digital booksellers who carry comics. This series is a digital first, publishing twice a month, and heading to comic shops shortly afterwards. The first 3 issues can be bundled for a discount of $2.49 on Comixology right now. So here are just a couple of shots of a couple of screens here of Injustice Zero. It'll be a little bit interesting to see how this played out before the events of Gods Among Us. So I'll probably be checking this one out myself. Let's roll on. Seth Rogen teases what to expect in new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles reboot. Now this was news to me, being a huge Turtle fan here, the resident Turtle fan here on the board. I did not know this was going on. So that kind of just tells you I've been under a rock. Despite being some of the weirdest comic book characters out there, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have landed on the big screen a number of times over the decades, with Seth Rogen being the next filmmaker attempting to develop an adaptation of the characters, having recently teased that the component he most hopes to fully embrace is the teenage part of the name. The upcoming film will be an animated adventure, an angle with which the 2007 TMNT took for the heroes, while the new live-action series was launched back in 2014. The film doesn't currently have a release date announced, so it's going to be animated. Would like to see a complete, total reboot, but hey, can't complain. And it's going to be animated, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be geared towards the younger crowd. So, it is what it is. But I will tell you what: if you're a collective Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the comic book, if you got TMNT #1, you might want to hold on to it. That thing seems to be creeping, and that makes me wonder if this is playing a part of that. So, all right, let's roll on. Marvel has canceled Ghost Rider. Marvel Ghost readers who were expecting 4 solicited comic books starring Ghost Rider. All right, Marvel Comics has canceled the ongoing comic book series Ghost Rider after 7 issues. Series writer Ed Brisson announced on the cancellation on Twitter, as many assumed Ghost Rider 7 was the last of the series. I loved writing it, had a hell of a time with Danny and Johnny's stories and introducing the spirit of corruption as far as the continued adventures that will continue elsewhere in the Marvel Universe. The Ghost Rider title was solicited through number 9 prior to the onset of COVID, once comics distribution resumed after a pandemic-influenced shutdown. Ghost Rider 7, which was originally intended to go on April 8th, was released on July 8th. I should have done this sooner, but also I wanted to thank Aaron Cooter, Juan Frigeri, and Jason Key. And this is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Some of these series, we all know, some go 10 issues, some go 5, 6, 7, 8. But this one has decided to go ahead and put the nail in the proverbial coffin. So, Netflix's The Sandman reportedly lands Doctor Who and Dark Mirror director. I think this is a pretty big announcement to make, considering how popular Doctor Who is and how good it is. Let's delve into this. Netflix's The Sandman adaptation is aiming to begin filming in the fall, and it may have landed its first director, according to the Illuminati. Netflix has signed British director Toby Haynes to direct episodes of The Sandman, though they could not say how many. Haynes' resume reads like a laundry list of the United Kingdom's most popular genre series, including Doctor Who, Sherlock, the Star Trek-inspired USS Callister episode of Black Mirror, and Being Human. So I think this is going to be something that you want to put a sticker price on, and not a sticker price, but a sticker just to kind of keep a monitor on it. I'm pretty sure that this is going to shape up to be pretty good. I'm actually looking forward to the Sandman series. I was a huge fan of the comic book, dark as it was back in the day. All right, so let's go take a look at our comic books, and let's see what's going on out here. As we see the weekly top 10 on cover price, Captain Marvel number 18 is trending. So let's see what that is going for. And as of right now, the raw comics are going for $19.99. That is up 13.27%. And let's back out of here. Another one that bears looking at is, once again, you got the other Captain Marvel, which is the variant, I believe. This is the it's variant, and this one is down actually. So, all right, let's look at what is on fire right now. We've got I saw one earlier. It kind of caught my eye. I can't find it right now, but I will tell you it's quite refreshing to kind of see Tomb of Dracula actually on this list. Tomb of Dracula actually died down there for a second, and then it went back up, and once again, Tomb is starting to hit those numbers again. Let's see what Tomb is going for now. Yeah, average 9.4. It's 2,000. That was actually yesterday. All right, so not sure what the record is on this one. Let's take a look here. Yeah, the record is about 6,000. So that's the average sales. So yeah, this is interesting to see how Tomb is starting to pick back up a little bit. That was a book that kind of was a little bit quiet. It's always been kind of pricey, but it was just a little bit more quiet than it normally is. So let's take a look at some of these weekly movers. Let's see what's moving on those eBay tickers. So take a look at the chat section. Iconic point. Captain Marvel. He says Captain Marvel will be $5 next year. I mean, that's kind of the point, man. I mean, it's certain books, man. You can kind of just go, nah, it's really not worth it, man. And that's when I saw it on a couple of forums I'm on. I actually saw it on the CBSI forum I'm on Facebook, and I saw a couple of guys talking about it, and I just was kind of like, nah, I don't see that doing much of anything, man. I always the running joke now is, the whole Venom and all that craze, but I don't think that has any Baron, I mean, having Captain Marvel's sister is really not that big of a, huge leap for something that, say I'm gonna go out and, splash the cash on. So I don't really see the sense in, going full belly up for a book like that. Um, so let's scroll through and see what we got here on the list. I find it interesting that we got 22 of these. This is a book that I know for a fact Al got for $5 last year. Uh, Moon Knight issue #1 and stuff. Let's move for about 55. This is one of those books that when I think that if you were to ask me about a lot of room for growth, this would probably be one of them. Especially if you can't get that first appearance of Moon Knight, which is we all know that book is astronomically priced. It's always been astronomically priced, but if you're looking for the next best thing, I would probably say you probably want to get this one. And so I mean, it's always been a relatively available comic book. And it's one of those books that a lot of times if you go to older shops, they tend to be in $5, maybe the $20 bin, and a lot of times they're just sitting there because people pass over them. And most people are trying to gun for that Werewolf by Night, but this is one that I would say that if you can keep your eye on it, if you see it at a reasonable price, then this is one that you definitely want to scoop up for a lot of long-term growth. Let's see here. This was one that I talked to Larry about today. I actually talked to him about this. I saw this on another list somewhere, and I was with the House of not House of 10, but with the 10 of Swords getting ready to take off. I mean, this was a book that was like 50 cents, maybe even a quarter. And just with the announcement of House of 10, not House of 10, Lord, I keep saying House of 10, but 10 of Swords. This book is $7.50, and we got slabs going for $26. Slabs of this book, which is absolutely, it's amazing sometimes to see how spec drives some of these books, So that's one to keep an eye on if you're in a buck bin. I mean, if you find it for 50 cents or a buck, I'm not gonna tell you not to pick it up. Definitely not gonna tell you not to pick it up. So. Marvel Point 1 is one that was actually down in the doldrums. This was on an old list I did actually. I actually did this list sometime late last year, and this was one of my dippers. I think it's the dippers in the comic market or something along that line. But this was a book that actually went down, man. It just dropped, like fell off a cliff. And I saw it drop personally. I saw it drop as low as $40 at one point, and it was kind of shocking because I was just like, this is one that's definitely gonna catch fire at some point. And so if you can find this book at a relatively good price, then I say go for it, man. I say go for it. So what's going on there? Big Remo. Yeah, I kind of plug. I know what you're saying. But I mean, at that stage, man. I mean, I think mint condition 9.8 and a $5 bin. I mean, I'm not gonna too much complain about that, man. I mean, it's only $5. I mean, $5 is not that huge of a gamble on a book. He's probably gonna double his money over 2 or 3 times. So, I mean that. On that, I don't necessarily see that as a ripoff. Now, $15, $20, then you're looking at a whole different scenario, So, all right, we're gonna keep on rolling here. We're gonna look through a couple of more of these. Let's go take a look at some old school. See some old school stuff here. While I'm scrolling, man, I've always been a big fan of those Darth Vader covers, man. I really like the artwork that's done on Star Wars, on the Star Wars series in general. Alright. See what the shakers are. Alright. Some of the old school classics and some of the usual suspects are rolling. Yeah, I've actually seen, in the last several days, I've actually seen this pop up a lot on a couple of forums I'm on. It's the Silver Surfer #1. And you know, I look at some of these books and I'm like, man, I completely missed out. And this was one I actually got last year for, I want to say, $100. The year before last. Yeah. This is one I got down in Savannah with Larry. Was at the Savannah Cards and Comics. I believe that's the name of the store. And actually ended up getting this. I think the guy sold, when I went back last year, the guy told me his son rather told me that he sold all of his old stuff, and so I ended up getting this, man, for like $100. It was crazy because he actually had this, he had Luke Cage, he had quite a few older books for little or nothing. So Kingdom Comics, if you out there, man, make sure you check out Savannah Cards and Comics, man. You know, they may have some new stuff in, but make sure if you out rolling, man, check them out. Yeah, some of these are books that have been trending for a while. This was one that we talked about. We've talked about the Eternals over and over and over. And the thing that's amazing, man, is that I picked up issues 1. Well, excuse me, not gonna say 1 because I got 1. Well, I did get 1 for like $1. But issues 2 through 12 or 2 through 14, I actually got for almost less than $2 a piece. And this book is sold today for $325. That's crazy. I mean, we hadn't seen a trailer, we hadn't heard anything else. I don't know if anybody in the chat has heard anything else about the Eternals. I hadn't heard anything about it, so it's quite amazing, man, to see how some of this stuff moves like that, you know. Let's see what the top variants are for this week. Well, for the last few days. Yeah, now I talked about this today with Larry. I actually got this book 3 years ago. I think I paid slabbed. I think I paid maybe 75 at the most, maybe 75. And when thinking about anything, I basically got it because I just wanted the sketch cover. And I mean, this book is one that's starting to trend. I mean, hell, even the original is finally starting to take off. And we joked about this earlier on the phone, and so I said, Larry, you know, we've come across about 5 or 6 of these dollar bins. We in the bit for those who follow us on Instagram, when y'all know I refer to the Comic Heist. I actually got 2 or 3 of these at the Comic Heist last year. I mean, so it's quite amazing to see how some of these books just take off. And I think either this week or next week at some point, I'm probably gonna do a show where we just go through prices of books. I'm gonna just go through a full-on book, just looking at the curve of prices and how things have changed. But that is it for tonight's edition of the Pulse. I want to say thanks for everybody who tuned in and checked us out. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, tell everyone, and make sure that you are on the lookout. We will be back this Saturday. For those who was asking, we'll be back on this Saturday with a new show. So make sure that you tune into that as well. And I was walking through Al how to get everything set up to run his show. So Al will be debuting his show. Not going to tell you the name of it. I'll let him do it. So you make sure that you be on the lookout for that. Make sure you hit that bell and make sure that it is a fully solid white. Otherwise you'll miss when we go live. And we will see you all on today is Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. That's it's COVID. This damn COVID has my days running together. So we will see you all on Thursday for the midweek edition of the Pulse. So, I want to tell everybody thanks for tuning in tonight. Hope you're doing well. Once again, like, share, subscribe, and tell a friend, tell everyone, tell all that the comic book roundtable discussion is trying to make some moves. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you. Peace.
Yeah.